Hey, good morning, everyone. Brent Wessler, Kodak Alaris, Global Solutions Engineer. Another demonstration on Microsoft Azure Document AI Intelligence Studio. Today, we're going to take a particular pre-built invoice here and parse through the payload that gets delivered via JSON from Azure into the Kodak Alaris info input intelligent document capture solution. So the idea here is you can see when you run analysis within the pre-built invoice parser, we're getting these different address fields back. And then you can see these sub nodes: house number, road, postal code, city, state, etc. When we come into info input to map these particular fields, you'll notice when we tried to do that, those fields are not available. You will see the header field, which is service address, vendor address, remittance address, things like that, but it doesn't give you the exact house number or zip code. Essentially, you would have to parse through that string that gets delivered. So we wanted to actually create a script that would allow us to take that JSON payload and parse through it to then separate the zip code and the house number and the street address. And the reason for that, specifically with invoices, is because that's a way to match to get the vendor ID, because reading the vendor name usually is no dice. You can't really read the vendor name with high confidence, and none of the cloud engines really do a good job. So we really need either the remittance address or the vendor address information, and use like something like the zip code to go out to the vendor master database and populate that information. So what you've seen here is, you see I've created these 6 fields: street address, house number, road, city, state, and postal code. Now in the process extract response step, we can leverage the JSON response and then parse through it, as you can see here. So we can actually utilize the nested batch API, which is the data, the JSON response, and then we loop and grab each document in the field. In this case, you'll see the shipping address and then the house number. And then we're setting that to a field within our info input solution. So if we run that through our system, you'll see now I've added these fields here on the right. You'll see street address, the house number, the road, city, state, and postal code. The point of today's demonstration is to show outside of what Azure brings back in terms of its standard fields, that using info input and our ability to parse the payload that comes back from Azure allows us a lot more flexibility. So why would you use info input instead of just going directly to Microsoft Azure? One, Azure is just an SDK, an API set. And two, our interface allows people that aren't developers to be able to parse and segment the different data that gets returned from Azure. Thanks for watching today. Please like and follow. Thanks, and look forward to next week's post.